Last year, we heard rumors that Dorney Park will be getting a new B&M dive coaster, and on August 10th, we get confirmation. Iron Menace will be the new coaster for Dorney coming in 2024. This is the first new coaster to be added to the park since the short-lived Stinger in 2012, and it's also their first new ground-up coaster since Hydra in 2005, so this is a big deal. After seeing Worlds of Fun get Zambezi Zinger earlier this year, it's refreshing to see that Cedar Fair is throwing a bone to the smaller parks that tend to be ignored. Let's take an in-depth look at this new coaster. Welcome to Ejector Airtime, and this is my analysis of Iron Menace. Before we dive into it, wait, that was a pun. I'm so sorry. Anyway, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content, and also give this video a like as that will really help against the YouTube algorithm. Let's start by taking a look at this coaster's backstory. The story revolves around a Scottish businessman who in the early 1900s opened a steel mill. His greedy personality dictated his decisions, and he tended to put profits ahead of the people when it came to beating the competition. In order to further increase his outcome, he created a massive rail system which he dubbed the Iron Menace, which was used to transport both workers and ore in unprecedented amounts and at very high speeds. One day, the CEO mysteriously disappeared and nobody knows how or where. In the end, the mill closed and all that remains today is the decaying relics of the old mill and a number of wild tales of where he disappeared to. I was initially on the fence about this name, but Cedar Fair has definitely gotten quite creative with their theming. And when the names are well explained in a ride's theming and backstory, it definitely grows on me. Iron Menace on first glance seems like another name you'd give a Six Flags RMC, but I really like the route they took. And the station and queue area appear to fit the theme as well. The orange and gray paint job looks incredible and it really complements the style of the station. I also really love the logo. It kind of reminds me of an old railroad nameplate. I could imagine seeing that on the front of a large steam locomotive in the early 1920s. Now let's take a look at the stats. So this dive coaster will use the narrow track as opposed to the larger spine track of dive coasters like Griffin and Valraven. It also features 3-car trains that hold 7 riders across. The only other dive coaster I know of that has 7 across is Cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Also similar to Cliffhanger is that Iron Menace will feature a beyond vertical drop of 95 degrees. The main stats are as follows. First drop of 160 feet, a top speed of 64 miles per hour, 4 inversions, and a track length of 2,169 feet long. The 4 inversions include an Immelman, a barrel roll, a tilted loop, and then it wraps up with a large corkscrew before turning into the final brake run. The tilted loop appears to be the same thing as an incline loop, which we saw on some of the large-scale stand-up coasters of the 90s. One intriguing thing about this layout is that it has no mid-course brake run, and also its footprint is quite narrow. Now how do I feel about this addition? While living close to Worlds of Fun, a park with only one B&M coaster, I am a little envious. Seeing that Dorney's only wooden coaster is the 99-year-old PTC Thunderhawk, I personally feel that Dorney needs a modern wooden coaster in their lineup more than anything. Despite this, it is definitely going to be a huge crowd pleaser. These B&M dive coasters, while sometimes tend to be a bit polarizing with enthusiasts, they have proven to be very popular with the general public. They have a high capacity, so they keep the lines moving quickly, and the thrill of hanging over the edge of the first drop is pretty exciting. Watching the POV of this coaster, I think this one looks like it could be a pretty intense one. The pacing of the inversions gives the initial impression that this coaster could be somewhat forceful. This is further helped by the lack of a mid-course brake run, which means it's not going to lose as much of its speed so quickly. The only dive coaster I've been on is Valraven, and its floaty elements are great. But these smaller dive coasters look like they're a lot of fun, and this one has the potential of being one of the best. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this upcoming dive coaster. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content.